There we go. Off and running. Wednesday afternoon, midweek, hump day. Yeah, we're here. We're ready to go. Got to refresh, make sure we're all hydrated. Unlike Jiri Prochazka, who seems to just magically cut weight. I don't know. Magically cutting weight seems a bit ridiculous, but hey, man. He seems to do his thing, and we're going to do the same thing here. What's up, Productions? What's up, buddy? Here just on time. Starting early. I thought at first 10:30 Eastern time could have been it. Then we bumped it back to 11 Eastern. I'm all out of whack. I'm all over the place. Not my normal time zone. But thank you guys for being here. See what we're going to get into tonight. Every fighter accused or spoke out is part of Iridium. Seems very convenient. Watching from Miami. You're down in Miami. Miami's a nice spot, man. I need to move further east and down south is what it sounds like. Miami seems like the place to be. Jason House. Yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. At least deconstruct and try to reconstruct. Yeah, it's colder up where I'm at, for sure. A little bit further out west than you. But Kraus too. Yep. I don't know, man. This is getting real weird, and I've been throwing it out there on Twitter. Basically just asking people, because I'm a fucking idiot. I'm an idiot. I get on here, talk to you guys. You guys are probably smarter than I am. But I ask these questions, like, is the UFC in on this? Are the sports betting outlets in on this? I don't know. It's all weird. It just seems so convenient that it's all tied back to Jason Krause. It's all tied back to, or James Krause, all tied back to Jason House, all coming out of Iridium. Every single fighter on here from Iridium Sports. It seems all too convenient. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it couldn't have just been a single person in Isaac Dolgarian or a single person in Derek Minner. But it's like, it's almost all, and again, this is just me thinking about this from every angle. It could be Iridium. It could be some kind of gambling ring that Iridium, James Krause, and all these fighters have going on. That's interesting. That could be the thing. It could just be them in and of themselves having some kind of a gambling betting ring going on. But I also, when I see this at first glance, again, we've talked about this already. Okay, there's some kind of thing going on here. There's linkage between Iridium, James Krause, and the fighters. You take a step back and you wonder and you ask yourself, so of all these fights that are getting thrown, there's been questionable fights. We talked about it before. Why? It just seems to fit. It seems to just fit too perfectly in my mind. It's just a little bit suspicious how perfectly this is all coming together. Anyway, Herzog let dude get dropped like 10 times and didn't stop it. It fits, and it all works, but it's too perfect to me. It's too perfect. So if in the next 5 years, in 10 years from now, we look back and the only people that ever got in trouble for this were those tied to Iridium Sports, James Krause, Jeff Molina, Isaac Dolgarian, Derek Minner, if those are the only people that are convicted of anything in 10 years' time, then I'm just going to say that, like, there's no fucking way. There's no way. There was no other fights involved. There were no other referees, no other judges, no other commissioner members. Mark Ratner, Jeff Nowitzki. I saw the Mark Montoya interview. He said Isaac will never be fighting again. Right. Montoya's got ties to James Krause. I mean, from what I saw on the screen, and we can pull that up. Maybe it's time. I just got to find it. Is that Mark Montoya did an interview, Ariel Helwani, obviously, addressing the allegations. Came out. I made a video about it already, but we can play it again. We'll listen to it. It's all Iridium and Krause, right? But that's what I mean. It just seems, it's like, there's no way there aren't other fighters from other gyms, other management groups, anywhere across the world. Now, maybe the FBI only has jurisdiction here and they can't do that. I don't know. But for now, it all just seems to be fitting all together too perfectly. Mark Montoya, he is tied into all this, fairly close with James Krause before all this shit went down a couple years ago. I feel this is fairly genuine from him. I do feel the anger radiating off of him. It's pretty intense, and I want to believe him, and I'm 99% of the way there. There's always going to be a room of doubt for me. I'm very pessimistic, very down on humanity, okay, you might say. I question everything. That's why I ask questions. I'm an idiot. I got to know. I got to see what the other opinions are, figure things out, assess the situation, come back, report it the best I can.
I'm here because I want to, first and foremost, just make sure that we clear the air. You know, my gym is being attacked, my integrity is being attacked, and I just want to first and foremost say we have nothing to do with any of these allegations that are being brought upon us. People have asked me what my opinions are. To speculate right now is not my job. You know, my job is to right now continue to lead and not react. And with that said, you know, we as a team, myself as a person, I've never been involved in any type of betting format. I've actually never even placed a sports bet in my entire life. I couldn't tell you how to do it. And so, you know, my job has always been to train these guys to fight and win, train these guys to win in life. And those are my two jobs. And so, you know, I take that very seriously. And you know, this is my life's work. And you can bet your ass that I would never, for any sort of money, I would never sell my integrity or my word, because in life, that's all you have. You have one thing. All these worldly things that we look at, the cars, the houses, the money, all those things, those are worldly man-made things. And, you know, we go and we leave ourselves with one thing when we leave this earth, and that's our integrity and our word. And you couldn't pay me any amount of money to get rid of that. And so I just want to start by saying that it's a very unfortunate situation. It's still unfolding. And, you know, I'm just not here to speculate. I'm here to speak facts. I'm here.
So he's here to speak facts. Again, I believe him for the most part. I'll believe him until I see something against him. I haven't really seen anything against Mark Montoya and the rest of the gym. There's a lot of other fighters up there in Factory X in Denver. They don't seem to be linked to any of this stuff right now. But again, he won't speculate because he's deeply involved in those. We are the objective party. We are on the outside. We're not connected to this. Yes, we're talking about it. Is it getting published on the internet? Sure. But I don't have any information. I don't have any ties to anything. The most I've ever done is placed one single bet. I didn't know what I was doing, and now I get a million fucking emails from DraftKings. And two, I've only taken free trial classes in mixed martial arts, so I got no real ties. I signed my name in a book one time, and that was pretty much it. Anyway, we, the audience here today, anybody I'm talking to, whether live, after the fact, whatever, we are going to speculate. We're going to ask the questions because I don't trust anybody in the media. And again, I've spoken to other people that are more well-versed in this. If the UFC and these sports betting outlets are involved in any way with this, it just seems too big of a cost, right? Too much money's getting moved around. Hundreds of millions of dollars are in play here. It's very unlikely. Again, however, call me a conspiracy theorist. There's been corrupt countries around the world. There's been large groups of corrupt people. NFL, NBA, you're telling me those those referees back in the early 2000s, the Lakers-Kings matchup, they admit to it now after the fact, right? That some shady shit was going on. You're telling me that couldn't be going on with some of the players involved in the UFC? It's possible. Is it likely? It doesn't seem so, but it's possible. So we're going to keep questioning everything. It's what I'm here for, because it seems like nobody else is doing it. I'm going to question everybody who says one thing, and I'm going to question everybody who says the other thing. There's no political ties here. When I say something about Donald Trump and Kash Patel and Dana White being all tied together, that has nothing to do with politics. It's just me reading for what it is. Okay? You can like or dislike all those guys involved. We dislike Donald Trump. We dislike Kash Patel. We dislike Dana White. Doesn't matter. Dana has his moments. They all sure have had their moments over the course of their lives. Right now, it seems like they're trying to figure this out. This is going to take time. We are not going to know the full extent of this until after the fact. So I'll just read, I believe his name's Andrew Feldman. I don't know, A. Feldman. We're just going to read it for what it is, what he's got here. I value his opinion, usually pretty spot on with some stuff. Again, it's like this dominance MMA thing I've been talking about. If anybody's seen that, anybody out there, the dominance MMA stuff with the Ali Abdelaziz, they're taking all the texts, emails, any negotiations that his fighters and he has had with the UFC. They're bringing that to court. They've been ordered to bring that and provide that to the court. Nobody's covering this at all. Nobody is. Now, I know nothing has happened yet, and maybe nothing will come of it. But on the outset, you look at it from a casual perspective, not a hardcore perspective. You step away and you say, yeah, that guy's a bit of a shady figure. Vanessa should have taken the money because she doesn't win often anyways. Right. There's kind of a conflict of interest because the person that's going to investigating them as friends with Dana White and Donald Trump, Kash Patel. But again, also, because they're friends, you look at it, again, flip the switch. He's tight with them. Maybe that means that they will move more quickly in the Justice Department. Maybe this will encourage them, hey, guys, we're buddy-buddy, right? I'm friends with you. Let's push this through a little quicker so we can clear our name. And then you guys can move on back to the NFL, NBA, whatever. So, again, you can look at it from both ways, both sides. I'm not picking a side. But again, you see the conflict of interest on one side, but you can also see that, well, they're pretty good friends. Maybe Kash Patel, the whole group, FBI, maybe they can do him a favor because they're friendly with each other, right? So that's a possibility. But we'll keep reading. When multiple past or present UFC fighters from the same management agency say that they were approached to throw fights and then delete it and or walk it back, that certainly raises questions. Izzy Dolgarian faces fight-fixing accusations and investigation from this past Saturday, shortly after Vince Morales and Vanessa Demopoulos and Lando Venata publicly said they've been offered money to throw fights. All three of them have been represented by Jason House's Iridium Sports. Then each post gets deleted or clarified as sarcasm or joke. Jeff Molina, represented by Iridium, was suspended in connection with the UFC betting investigation involving James Krause. Krause coached multiple fighters who were represented by Iridium at Glory MMA. Public business filings show that an LLC named Iridium Rental Properties LLC listing James Krause as the registered agent, and a later filing changing the registered agent to Jason House. Not making accusations, just pointed to oddly timed document overlaps. Fighters, management, coaching ties, business records, betting investigation. So, again, we look at this. Edgar Chairez, he makes another note. Also, Edgar Chairez, a UFC flyweight, also managed by Iridium Sports, who was posted on social media that he was offered 1 million pesos, the equivalent of $53,800 USD, to throw a fight, and reviews saying, I would never do it. But once again, another guy, somebody else, has come out and said, well, I've essentially been approached to throw a fight. They've offered me some money. 1 million pesos sounds like a lot. $53,000, not as much. I like your channel because you admit that you don't know everything and you're really here just asking questions. Aren't we all just wondering? I'm not a betting expert. I'm not a political expert. I just read it for what it is. Again, people that don't like Donald Trump who come and watch this after the fact, that's okay with me. You might think there's a conflict of interest here, but you also have to know that, well, Dana White's in business to run a business. He doesn't want this betting scandal hanging around them for a long time, so he could use that conflict of interest to help him push this further and faster down the line. That's what I'm thinking. It's possible, but I don't know which way they're going to go with it. Dana says he called the FBI. He's got direct contact with these guys. That's a good thing. If we're trying to weed out any suspicious activity, that's a good thing. But Eric McGracken, again, politics aside, whatever aside, Americans bet over 148 Americans bet 148 billion on sports last year, which is more than they spent on movies, books, concerts, sports tickets combined. To give you a sense of why UFC betting scandal has teeth and matters, this is why. It's been 3 years since the Derek Minner James Krause incident. Sports betting has gone through the roof since then. It has only increased tenfold over each year. Again, let's listen to what Dana White had to say. Just on face value. We got to listen back. We got to reassess. We're talking it through here. We're talking it through in the comment section. That's what we're supposed to do.
Best bet monitor. We're with a company called IC360, and they are the best bet monitoring company in the business. And they reached out to us and they told us that there was some unusual action going on with that fight. Do we know anything? We called the fighter and his lawyer. What's going on? There's some weird action going on in your fight. Are you, do you owe anybody money? And the kid said, no, absolutely not. The fight plays out, first round finish. Literally the first thing we did was call the FBI. I've met with the FBI twice today. That's the whole thing. Now you see people out there talking, oh, there's hundreds of fights under, it's total bullshit. IC360, our company, they monitor all of the betting. There aren't hundreds of fights being investigated. All clickbait BS. You know, we're watching every single fight that happens in the UFC. From the first prelim.
So, again, this may not be true. They may actually be investigating this. And now, again, the guy that's doing all this stuff and a lot of the information's coming out is Harry Mack. He's very closely tied into this somehow. And I just have to wonder, again, anonymous sources, and every time I ask a question, everybody comes after me. Oh, you fucking idiot, it's a anonymous source. He's not going to give it away. I'm not expecting him to give away an anonymous source. But how the fuck are you tied in so tightly with this shit? Unless your anonymous source is one of the cornermen that helped Ajit Dolgarian this past Saturday. Harry Mack seems to be an MMA fighter. Seems to potentially train with some of these people. Of course he has Jason Howe's phone number. Of course he's got this. Of course he's got that. Again, who the fuck is this guy? He's just popped up out of nowhere. And I know he's been around for some time and he's done this and that. It's like me spouting this shit and then it comes true. Who's behind all this? Is this guy some kind of fucking plant? I mean, I'm genuinely asking the question because I don't know. And it just seems so weird that this guy seems to know every single fucking detail. He doesn't seem to be corroborating this with another source. Again, journalism, fucking 101. You got one source says something. You got another source says something. Okay, cross them. We got two sources. This has to be true. You got to confirm. You have to, if one thing is true and another guy backs it up, things line up, works out. It's true. Again, I'm not some fucking genius, but I went to middle school. It's just journalism 101. You got to have two sources. So one source doesn't make it illegitimate, doesn't make it not true. And right, if Ariel vouches, it's probably legit. The problem is, productions, Ariel doesn't vouch for everything the guy is saying. He's not vouching for the 100 fights. He's not vouching for the Jason Herzog stuff. Why you change your channel name? Didn't it used to be different? Yeah, it was like Combatics. It was just something stupid I came up with. Just different. But I was getting a lot of comments saying that I'm too pessimistic and I asked too many questions. So, hardcore hater. That's what we came up with in my own head. Plus, it rolls off the tongue a little easier. But again, Ariel's not endorsing everything that Harry Mack is saying. That's the problem I have with it. If you throw shit at the wall, something's gonna stick, right? So that's how I'm kind of viewing Harry Mack at this point. But I'm not believing Dana either. There's got to be more than just these fights. There's been so much suspicious activity, so much. So it may not be 100, but it's not just this one. It's not just this one. I don't trust anybody. Ajit Dolgarian released. We know this. Again, no purse. Nevada State Athletic Commission's taking the purse. They see something is going on. Again, the drop in the betting line. Hours, minutes. It's all tracked over the course of days. And then boom, falls off. Ties to James Krause. Again, listen to it one more fucking time.
Hey, I say don't bet on me unless you're paying me some percentage. I'm doing all the work. That's how I feel about it.
Pay me a percentage. This was the week of the fight. Money on the mind. We already talked to Mark Montoya earlier. Vince Morales. Vanessa Demopoulos. Groovy Lando Venata. Guy who fought Tony Ferguson. He's got a bunch of losses on the record. This is the only one that I could see as potentially a joke. He has 7 losses. My record reflects, right? He's specifically mentioning his record. Could be an ill-advised joke. But these two, no. Not a joke. Not funny at all. Edgar Chairez, not funny at all. Not one bit. There's nothing funny about this. It's too specific. It's too weird. And so Dana had some thoughts on that as well. As you do. As makes any sense.
You know, you're seeing things out on the internet where like fighters are coming out and going, "Oh, I was approached. Really? Why didn't you tell us that? Or more importantly, why didn't you tell law enforcement that you were approached? Now you're saying that you were approached? It's like if somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I want you to rob a bank. I'm going to rob banks. Want to rob a bank with me?" And you don't do it. What, you're not gonna tell law enforcement? It's really weird that fighters are coming out now saying they were approached, and they're going to be approached now by the.
They're going to be approached now. We're going to throw them to the fucking wolves. And again, Ariel Helwani is getting texts, calls, messages about all this stuff. Ariel Helwani, this stuff's public. He's going to get investigated eventually. You think he's not going to rat? You think he's not going to rat? That guy, Ariel Helwani, isn't going to rat. If Dana White and all the UFC employees aren't going to just snitch on everybody, you think Ariel's not going to do the same shit? He's not involved in this. It's journalism, right? You would say. He's going to rat. They're going to come knocking. They're going to ask questions. You know they are. But again, I fall all the way back. Harry Mack. Who is this? Who is this guy? Fight biz and sometimes media when I feel like it. What does that mean, bro? Of course, his link to his page doesn't even work. But here's the latest. Well, not the latest, but...
Hey, and
let's listen to what... Let's just take a look, take a listen. Who is this guy? What is he all about?
nah, you're good. But yeah, I've been running around like a lunatic and on the fucking phone all day and having some very interesting conversations.
Yeah. Just leaving this tweet. Okay. All right. Well, I'm here with the boy, the GOAT, the founder of the MMA.
What is this? What are we doing here? I mean, I get this is a very Bush League, run off the ground. We don't know who's going who with what. Exactly. What is this?
A breaking news scandal that after Isaac killed Gary. All right, I'll launch into some background while people join up.
I don't even know if you can hear it. Jack Della, the GOAT. I'm sorry, productions. I'm sorry for lingering. I know you probably want to talk about something else. It's the news of the week, but yeah, gonna take Islam out. You happen to be an Australian, mate, because I don't know if he can do it. I don't know if Jack Della can do it, but it'd be pretty fun. Shake some shit up. I'm live in front of you now. I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to fucking look into this shit for hours and hours all day and do nothing with my time. I don't get paid to do this shit. We're going to figure this out together. So I'm just going to play this for a few minutes and then we'll start talking about some fights maybe. I'm American, but I think Jack can get him. I think he can too. Possible. It's fine. Just got back from smoking. Okay. Yeah, Harry Mack seems to know a lot. It just seems... how? You know, what are we doing here? What is this... Is the anonymous source a training partner that's also potentially tied into all this? I mean, is he going to be unbiased? I agree. I have JDM. Would be fucking wild if we had JDM get the win here, boys. What a hell of a year it would be. Smoking weed, not Tabasco. Shh. Tabasco sauce. Nah, I do not partake myself, but glad that you can enjoy your time.
For those who just may have just stumbled across this and they're just like, oh, what's going on? Well, a fighter through a fight, obviously, and there's a lot of allegations that others may have done the same.
I appreciate.
We, as much as it looks like it, we don't know that yet. So to say that he absolutely threw the fight, he could have been injured, could have been sick. I think he threw it. If you're going to throw a fight, at least make it look decent. Well, they wanted to get that first round finish, and that guy's one of the best first round fighters that we've seen come up as a prospect in a while. The dude was fucking good, man. I was very high on Isaac Dolgirin. I was tuned in ready to watch the fight. Otherwise, I probably would have been doing something else because I knew he was coming up. And yeah, this guy's fucking good. I knew it. Ariel's saying it, saying that all kinds of players in the gym are saying that he's real good. But honestly, if Islam wins, just give Conor the shot against Islam for the welterweight belt. I don't give a fuck. You know what? White House, might as well run it. If Conor's willing to take the loss, might as well fucking do it. Isaac had money on the mind. Exactly, brother. Exactly.
Appreciate that. You're saving me this context for like the 7th time in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, the FBI's investigating.
What the fuck is this? I guess it's his ear. He's on the phone. Isaac is fucked now. I think he is too. To make the statement like, oh, he absolutely threw the fight. It's possible. He didn't. I don't fucking know. Let's see what the investigation deduces.
There's a lot going on here.
What the fuck, man? I can't listen to this shit. All right, there he is. Who the fuck is this dude? I mean, I'm nothing against him. He seems to be doing some good work. He seems to be doing some decent journalism. But how is Krause still free from this shit years ago? Because they didn't find anything. They didn't really convict him of anything. He was involved in some offshore betting stuff, which is illegal, and there could be some consequences. But essentially, they found nothing. I mean, there was ties to it. He knew about this, knew about that. They made bets, placed bets, but nothing of like illegal. I don't know. They're still working on it. That's the point. I don't know. This is going to be a topic of conversation going forward. All right, we've skipped like 10 minutes into this.
Made aware of abnormal betting activity on this fight. There were multiple conversations had. Again, we're talking about probably about a 3-hour time window here. So we have ample time to fucking fix this. Multiple conversations are had between Hunter Campbell, Dolgarian's team. Jason House assures me he was not a part of those conversations, but take that as you will. That's me reporting what he is saying and not giving my opinion. Yeah. And at that point, excuse me.
I can't listen to this. They had hours to pull it. Yeah, that's what's weird is like all this is getting pinned on Dolgarian and shit. And it's like the UFC's only vetting process for this entire thing was just to ask him. Jason House has much more power than he is admitting. Oh, yeah. And why is he talking to Harry Mack but nobody else? He doesn't want to talk to Ariel and air out all the grievances and everything. How do we know that Harry Mack even talked to him? How do we know that's even true? I hope so. Again, I'm not trying to discredit the guy. I'm just wondering, like, I'm not the most attractive guy in the room. Okay, I admit this, but the guy just looks like a mess. And maybe it's because he's been running around stressing the shit out of himself. But he looks like a mess.
Christ almighty. Bad Jewish sign.
He's again, you got to take all this aside. It doesn't matter. He's saying some stuff that's not very PC. Okay. And again, that doesn't matter. It's not what I'm here for. I'm not very PC either. Hunter Campbell being a lawyer and didn't pull the fight. Who is this lawyer? He keeps saying that Harry Mack says there was a lawyer involved in this. Dana White said they talked to his lawyer. Why does Isaac Dolgarian have his lawyer at the fight? What the fuck does that mean? Who is that? And why? Why the fuck does Isaac Dolgarian have a lawyer at the fight? Do all these fighters have lawyers at the fight with them? That doesn't make any sense. All right, I'm skipping through because I don't appreciate the unprofessionalism, and I understand he's doing this just running and gunning. I'm just running and gunning. Yeah, I mean, does lawyer mean manager? But then Jason House has no idea what's going on. But I mean, that's what I mean, man. That's what I mean. All right, we're skipping ahead a bit. I don't know what's going on here. If I haven't watched this, we're not looking at time codes. This is very unprofessional in and of itself. What I'm doing with you talking, I've got my computer and a fucking second monitor. But we're running and gunning from a cell phone here, and listen, here's my problem with the whole thing. He has made some pretty off-color comments. Again, I'm very non-PC. I say retarded. You've probably heard me say it. I'm not the cleanest, sharpest dressed. I'm not the most attractive looking dude. But I try to at least establish some sort of validity to what I'm saying because I'm asking questions. I'm admitting to everything. I'm being as upfront with you guys as possible. This guy is doing this from a cell phone, right? He's saying this, saying that. He's making off-color comments. Anytime somebody criticizes him, he's going after them in the comments. Why? You have information that you deem to be correct. You don't need to fight people for it, okay? If they want to disagree with you, that's up to them. Just like I have questions. When I've been asking these questions of these guys, they've been just throwing these paragraphs of criticism at me for asking questions. Well, duh, look at the information. Well, I don't know who your source is. You don't seem to have a second source. Jason House called Harry Mack transgender because Harry exposed him. Is that true? Is that true? Crazy. If so. Anyway. But again, so Harry Mack has reported some information. If he's reporting good information and Jason House is in the wrong and he says something like that is, pretty, whatever. Did you watch Harry Mack interview with Submission Radio? No, but we should maybe pull it up. But again, Jason House calling Harry Mack names, right? Calling him names, and then Harry Mack firing back, that doesn't help your case. It looks pretty damn, I'm losing the words because, again, I'm not a fucking genius. It looks pretty bad on Jason House if he's going to go calling you names because you put out information. But him then firing back, it's immature, it's stupid, it's not real journalism. This is just, what do you call it? This is like vigilante journalism here.
Like dog shit. What do you want me to say?
No, well, first off, Harry Mack, respected MMA journalist, talking about
respected, like there's conflict of interest. Val Dewar, I don't know this guy. He's been around quite a bit. He does his thing. I don't follow him, but I thought I did. Anyway, he's doing a good job covering this thing, just like we're covering it here. Got nothing against him. Yeah, maybe we'll pull it up. We'll pull it up and watch it, maybe. Productions, if you've watched it already, just give us a little tidbit. See what's going on. Herzog knows he's fucked. Yeah, dude, watch the Submission Radio interview. We'll pull it up. We'll pull it up in a minute. I just got to read through some of this stuff. Because it just, the timelines, the incongruities. I mean, he says it himself, but don't put it out. Don't put it out there unless you know for a fact that it's fact, motherfucker. God damn it. I'm just sorry. I'm tired of these fucking idiots posting shit online, and I'm supposed to take it verbatim, and they're getting after me for asking fucking questions. Don't put it out there unless you know it's factual, you dumbass. Ariel Helwani gave you props for something that was true. You got your credit, motherfucker. Leave the ego behind, do the job, and you will reap the reward afterwards. That's my problem with this guy. I'm supposed to trust you, but yet every time you put something else out, you retract it, or you say, I was mostly correct. Just tell us what you are doing, and then come to us with information afterwards. Or don't pretend again, it's okay, but don't say that this is journalism. It's not. and that's okay. But you can't keep saying that I have to believe you 100% because you have some anonymous source. We don't know who it is. We don't know who it is. We don't know if you have a second source to confirm all this. You're hit or miss on he's about 75% from the way I've seen this. But we'll watch the interview. For some reason, MMA has so much fake clickbait. I do clickbait shit. I do exaggerated shit. I put out a short and somebody's ripping me in the comments. And again, I'm a person who read the comments. I'll interact. But man, when I put the phone down, when I put the computer away, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit because I'm not pretending to be a journalist, excuse me, and I'm not pretending to have some inflated ego. We don't know who the fuck that source is. And I don't want the source to be outed. That's not the point. I don't need to know who the source is. Every time I ask questions, they just go, well, I'm not going to reveal my source. I'm aware. I'm not stupid. I was told this. I was told that. I just think there's too much ego involved. And I'd love to talk to the guy because I got questions for him. But I don't want to interview him because I don't trust him. I don't trust him. And I feel like the moment he jumps on here with me or some shit like that, he won't know the answers. And I'm not ready to ask all these questions. I don't have enough questions for him. I got too many questions for him. And I don't have time to ask him. So these other people doing these interviews, Submission Radio, hopefully they're doing their job. Hopefully they're doing their job. We've got more clips of Isaac Dolgarian during the week. We were talking about this a few minutes ago. The James Krause Iridium stuff, the rental properties listed under James Krause there. Oops, sorry about that. Weird stuff. Ian Gary declined Brady. Yeah. Don't expect much to come of this. I don't either. Too many fishy figures involved, too many untrustworthy places to be looking for information, but wait a minute. Yeah. But again, who's the real one? I mean, people are digging up information. This is good. Yeah. James Krause had properties under Iridium. Again, the ties seem to run fairly deep here. James Krause tied right to Iridium. Fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy. All makes sense now. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It's all tied together very tightly. Didn't know that. I didn't either till earlier. It is crazy. Very odd. Very suspicious. Let me find that Submission Radio bit. I'm very curious what this guy has to say. Harry Mack. Very curious. 28 minutes. Productions. Did you? I had no clue. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I don't know what to think about it. Like, what is... It's just all too perfect. It's like they're running it's like they've got their own MMA gym / management mafia going on. Like, it's crazy. But productions, if you watched this already, is it worth watching? Is it worth watching?
Thing first, he had his finger on the pulse of what was going on. He joins me here as obviously this story develops. We break down everything that's been happening and also what might happen next. You know him as Harry Mack on Twitter. Harry, you're a busy man. You joined me here today. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining me here on Submission Radio.
My pleasure, brother. Thank you for having me. I very much appreciate it, and I appreciate the intro. It's been nice to take my victory lap, get my flowers.
Dude, well, first of all...
I think I think it's worth watching, but you can watch it 2x speed. Maybe we'll speed it up, maybe like 1.5. It's a little hard to listen to on 2 speed. Now, I can comprehend. I listen to a lot of podcasts on 2 speed, but for anybody watching this after the fact, I don't want to speed it up too much. Maybe we'll go 1.5. Anybody out there else lurking in the chat, let me know. Up to you, but it's interesting. Maybe check timestamps and see the relevant stuff. We can do that as well. Maybe we'll do that as well. Again, you guys let me know. Maybe it's just me. I have no ego about this. You can take my work for what it is. I'm not, thanks for giving me my flowers, man. Thanks for validating me. I don't fucking care. My work speaks for itself. That's how I've always operated my entire adult life. My work speaks for itself, sorry. Even I've got a bit of an ego, more so than I care to admit. All right, so I don't know. That's not everybody though. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their way of living, but I just don't. His back and forth with some people on Twitter is just really putting me off. Like, I don't know. Like Ariel Helwani, he does often gloat about things. Luke Thomas often gloats about this, gloats about that. But they've been established in the world of MMA and journalism for a long time. They have the right to do that. But Ariel Helwani is not going around when he just put this out there. He's not going around saying, look what I dug up. Look what I found. This was all me, guys. No. He put out the information that he had. He did his thing, dropped it on the table, and said, you guys take that for what you will. The problem I have with Harry Mack, and he seems like a young guy. I get it. I'm a young guy. But I've worked a lot of jobs. I've been around a lot of people. And I don't fuck with people in a big way. And again, I'd love to chat with the guy. I would love to. But I don't want to. I don't care to. Don't need to. I'll take this information for what it is. And maybe that's the problem I have here. Ariel doesn't just vouch for anyone. Right. And again, productions, anybody else out there, he vouched for that single tweet that he put up on the screen. He's not vouching for everything Harry Mack has done. And again, I've been shitting on the guy. I just yelled and fucking screamed and went on a rant about him. But he seems to be doing good work. I just let the work stand for itself. You don't need to talk about how finally I've gotten my justice and finally I got this. You don't deserve anything until the work proves it.
I mean, people don't understand. It takes an incredible amount of work for you to get the information together, get it out there, to be able to monitor it. So I want to start off in the beginning here. Obviously, over the weekend, maybe not the biggest UFC in the history of UFCs. Probably one of the worst cards.
It might be at this point. Not for the right reasons.
Not for the right reasons. When did you start hearing about stuff happening to do with this fight not looking right? When did you start picking up on something that was wrong?
So I was originally keyed in early Saturday morning, and
You're not hating on the guy. Bit disheveled, bit of a mess. I'm a slob sometimes, but it's hard for me to look at it and go, yeah, I trust this guy 100%, man. Pick your clothes up off your couch, man. I mean, at least do that. I'm not trying to pick on the guy. Again, he seems like a guy I'd get along with in person. He seems kind of funny. It just doesn't help me trust you. There's these things that I have issues with along the lines. The information checks out, seems legit, but it's everything surrounding it that just seems very odd and off-putting, and that's hard. It's hard for me to come around. Again, not picking on the guy. You should see what's behind the camera right now. It's a tangle of cords, and it looks like a fucking disaster. A world-class reporter wearing a fucking 7-Eleven t-shirt. Now, again, whatever. It's kind of funny. The hair is a bit of a mess. Again, not hating on the guy. He's got his thing. It's just hard to it's hard, not for me, I guess. I can read it for what it is. I don't really care what you look like, what your race, creed, color is, but for casual audiences looking at this, for older people, I'm still in my 20s. I'm young. I fuck shit up all the time. I take chances, take risks. I'm not smart. Older people that might be tuning in to watch this, though, like in their 40s, 50s, Who is this guy? I don't know about him. I'm going to look him up. Oh, here's this interview. He's telling the truth. This kid is a bit of a slob. Didn't cut his hair. Not wearing anything nice. You could have at least put your shades down, maybe. Older people are going to have a problem with this interview and just like, ugh, I'm turning this off. This is weird. I don't have that same level of problem, but it's in the back of my mind. It's the thoughts that I have. Again, I'm a pessimistic, skeptical, questioning person.
Once again, I've had 1,000 idiots on the internet demanding, who's your source? Who's your source? Who's your source? Motherfucker, I'm not going to ruin somebody's life to satiate some random guy on Twitter. I stand by my work. The people in this industry who know me, and no, I don't just throw shit at the wall. So,
well, Ariel Helwani doesn't seem to know you. Productions 26 yesterday. Happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday. I wish I could send you something, but I can't. I can only provide this for you. Honestly, bro, we're probably never going to know the truth. No, I don't think so. But this again, I'm not expecting you to out your source, but your source seems so tightly involved in all this and so closely connected to this. You can only begin to deduce that it was a potential training partner / cornerman of Isaac Dolgarian. Or it's Isaac himself, and this is all just a fucking facade, and this is fake and bullshit, and I don't know.
Yes, I was tipped off early Saturday morning, and basically what I was told is that there's some weird stuff happening around.
I've been watching MMA for about 6 years. Yep, I've been involved / watching since probably, I think the first Fox card was the first one I ever watched, but I was pretty young at the time, and, bedtimes, and I don't have money to pay for pay-per-views, and this, that, and the other. Probably about 2018, right around the Khabib-Conor fight was when I started watching on a week-to-week basis. So listen, we're not too far apart here, Productions. We're not too far apart here. So happy birthday again. Been 6 years, long years of watching MMA. It's been a blast. It's the best sport in the world. I don't really enjoy anything else. But we'll continue on.
On the Dolgarian camp. This was when action was starting to come in. The line was starting to shift. So I guess to back up a little bit, paint a little bit of a picture here. Isaac Dolgarian opens this week around minus 240. Pretty sizable favorite. Gets bet all the way up to close to minus 300 during the week. So, nothing weird, nothing abnormal happening. And then we get to Saturday morning, and suddenly money starts pouring in on Duval, the underdog. Pretty significant underdog. Not only does money start pouring in on the underdog, the line now drops from Dolgarian minus around 300, 270 to all the way down to minus 140 at one point. The round one finish prop drops from around plus 900 to close to plus 200. So obviously that's going to raise some eyebrows. What precipitated, I guess, this becoming the problem it has is 5 bets that were placed at the Hard Rock retail that basically pushed things over the edge. The final.
Okay, yep, we know about the 5 bets. We even knew about. Now, I cannot find the tweet, but I am 75% sure that I did see a tweet, not about the bets the day of, but the night before, somebody somewhere said something about Isaac Dolgarian being sick. Hooker Poirier, brother, yes. Fuck yeah. You watch that fight early on Apex days. That was my brother. He watched that one. He was hooked instantly. Banger. One of the best fights of all time. Still, it's talked about, but it's got to be one of the most underrated fights of all time because there wasn't a crowd there. There isn't that energy around it, but damn, they put everything out on the canvas that night. That was like the first fight I watched. Woo! 2020. Boy, oh boy. What a time to be alive. That is the fucking fight to watch, man. A first night, main event. It wasn't even a random undercard fight. It was the main event that delivered that highly. Whew. Dan Hooker is tougher than a $2 steak. Bro, 10-cent steak, my friend. I mean, you go all the way down that low. I mean, this guy is literally insane. Breaks bones in the cage, doesn't care. Who was your favorite fighter coming out of that one? That's my question.
Handle on the Dolgarian fight was $16 million.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure. I know you're a gambling guy. For everybody at home.
Okay, let's just say this. Ariel Helwani had a betting expert on the show. He said that there is no way to actually see how much money was on a specific prop or a specific anything until that information comes out. So I don't know where this guy's getting that information. You understand what I'm saying? I can poke holes in a lot of what he's saying. That's the problem I have with it. The very first fight I ever watched was Adesanya versus Romero. That's a bad one. That's a bad one. Okay, back to Harry Mack. Again, Ariel Helwani brought a guy from Yahoo Sports. He's been interested in sports betting. He's been covering it for 20 years, 10 years, 20 years. That guy said that they do not know and will not know until the investigation and the sports books put all the information out there. But Zhang Zhawana, that's a good one. Ooh, pardon me, forgot that was on the card. So you got to witness one good fight. But again, we don't actually know that it's 16 million. Now that seems like a fairly modest figure that I could believe. It seems believable, but where's that coming from, brother? Where'd you get that information? Because your source that's involved with the UFC is not the same source that's linked to the FBI and these sports books and these agencies that cover this stuff. Watching an absolute war between the girls in the most boring fight with Romero. Dude, and I'm not a huge fan of the women's MMA side of things, but I'm looking forward to Zhang Weili and Shevchenko, that's for sure.
I really cannot contextualize how preposterous a $16 million handle on a fucking Apex prelim is. We're talking about like an NBA game or a lower tier NFL game. Like that in and of itself is going to raise flags. And I don't know why all of these people yelling at me on Twitter and calling me all sorts of slurs don't understand that this is literally what state and federal regulations exist for. This is why this exists. This is why legal gambling exists. So at that point, the sportsbook notifies federal investigators.
It don't fucking matter, bro. I've had trolls in here many a times, and it's fun to chat shit back and forth. Do I think they're stupid? Yeah. Do they think I'm stupid? Yeah. I don't care. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. If my opinions, my information, Harry Mack's facts, if they stand the test of time, it don't matter what they say, bro. The work, the information will speak for itself.
That they feel there's abnormal action on the fight. That's when we start to see a few shops pull prop lines, a few shops pulled the fight line completely. Clearly something strange is happening. Where it gets really dicey now is federal investigators reach out to the UFC, and I can specifically tell you, I know for a fact Hunter Campbell was made aware. So now Hunter.
Okay, so again, federal investigators came out, talked to the UFC. The FBI contacted the UFC is what he's saying. Dana White says that IC360, who works with the UFC and these betting companies and whatever and covers the stuff and keeps an eye on it, said that they contacted him. Which one's true? The FBI, who's busy doing a number of other things, they're not actually monitoring this. There are multiple companies that work with every single NFL team, every single sports league to monitor this stuff. Again, who's more likely? The companies that are getting paid by the sports books and by this and by that, I don't know how they make their money, by the commissions, by the state legislature, by the local legislature. Who's more likely to have contacted the UFC? The FBI, who has had no direct contact with any of this. They have an investigation, but they're not monitoring this on the daily. They don't have the fucking resources to sit there and monitor every UFC fight. The FBI is not doing that. They're waiting for a third party to come to them with that information. Now, if this investigation gets them to then key in on some of this stuff and keep an eye on it, that's a totally different question. Again, you can poke holes in this guy's stuff. That doesn't make it all irrelevant, doesn't make it all illegitimate. It's, again, just the question of, like, what am I supposed to believe? I don't consider myself a fucking YouTuber production. Let's be straight here. But we did just cross 700 subs. I only get about 3-4 views per video, but it's okay. It's okay. 700 is just a number. We're going to keep moving forward. Thank you to everybody. Productions, you're hanging out. Anybody lurking right now, everybody watching after the fact, I appreciate you very much. This has been fun. Gives me something to talk about, because otherwise I'd be screaming into my fucking pillow. You watch all the videos. Hell fucking yeah. Now, again, productions. I'm sure you disagree with me. I've got my biases. 100%. I like smaller channels like you. You're actually going to interact with the chat. Hell yeah. I don't just let that shit scroll by. Plus, I got nobody else to talk to, productions. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Half the reason I can get to your questions is because you're the only one here, my friend. Maybe so. But that's okay. We're going to get some people here someday, somehow, some way. Eventually.
Campbell and the promotion are aware that there's abnormal betting action, significant abnormal betting action on a fight, enough that it got flagged by federal investigators. To my knowledge, multiple conversations were had between Hunter Campbell and Isaac Dulgarian's team. Dulgarian's team assured him they didn't know what was going on, that it was weird, that he was ready to go, he was all good. UFC decides, fine, we're going to move on with the fight. That right there is a big fucking problem. Because what happens next, we all know. I don't want to throw the fixing word around. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I want to let investigators do their job. But we all saw the fight. We all watched a guy who...
Like MMA Guru, you can't even talk to him unless you donate. I've watched a little bit of MMA Guru. Now, I'm not the biggest fan, but I think he has some pretty good analysis. The live chats get a little weird here and there. A lot of stupid kids on there. Because he's funny. I think he's fucking hilarious. I think he's really funny. And he's actually a pretty good analyst. The Mighty Guru show, I know everybody fucking hates Demetrius because he said this in the past, and everybody hates MMA Guru. There's some good, fun interaction there, because my problem with a lot of the fighters is that they don't watch the sport. They don't cover it. They don't look at every fight. MMA Guru is like us. We're watching every fight, aside from some women's fights, let's be honest. We watch every fucking fight. Demetrius doesn't, but he knows the ins and outs of the game. So if you take a person who's a hardcore fan that knows everything and then pairs that with good questions like Demetrius, why did this person do that? Or why was this technique here? Or this, that, and the other. If you ask Demetrius Johnson specific questions, he's fantastic. He's very knowledgeable. You take him out of that and you try to get him to just make some broad commentary on the UFC as a whole, the dude's kind of a fucking idiot. I'm literally wearing his shirt. One of my favorite fighters. Productions, I try to watch everybody. Lucas Tracy, I do also find very funny. He's the casual. He's like more of a casual for sure. Like every time he makes a video, I'm like, that's not right. I don't agree with that. I'm trying to be objective, but I don't agree with that, blah, blah, blah. He's more casual than I am. And I've got, no fucking place to be talking, right? So I'm glad that somebody's managed to make a living off of YouTube. Do I watch bedtime? Not a big bedtime guy. Not really a big fan. Him and Lucas both do tier lists, and they just seem to be very similar, except I don't find bedtime as funny. Like Lucas, I think, is kind of a goofy dude. So I've watched some of Lucas's stuff. But who else do I watch? But I don't have enough time. I just kind of pop it in the ear while I'm working. Luke Thomas. I've got problems with Luke Thomas. I think he's a very stuck-up, hoity-toity piece of shit, but he has good analysis on certain things. Ariel Helwani, of course, at the forefront of a lot of breaking news, does the interviews with the fighters. Do I think he's shady? Do I think he's snaky? Absolutely. The GOAT MMA Joey. Now that guy, from what I know, I've not watched a lot of stuff. He is just a clickbaiter, rage baiter, a contrarian to be a contrarian. I'm sorry. That guy just is contrary to be contrary. Luke Thomas is funny, but he's biased. He don't like UFC. Exactly. He's always biased. That's a problem. But some of the analysis is pretty spot on. And he's been around the game a long time. Same thing with Ariel. Who else? John Anik, Kenny Florian. I try to listen to as much of that. Listen, I try to just consume it, but it kind of goes one ear and out the other. Yeah, you're right about Joey. I can't stand the shit that I see from him. And there's another guy, Kenny something or other. Fucking idiot. John Jones did the funniest thing ever at the press conference where he said, I don't like you, Luke, so I'm not going to answer your question. Yeah. You be working all the time. Dude, I'm working all the time. I don't make money doing this shit. If I did, I wouldn't be working as much. But fuck, I'm not doing this for money. This is just fun to chat back and forth. Kenny Okoye. Yeah, that dude. They're just contrary to be contrary. You're telling me, as an MMA fan, productions. Now, you have your favorite fighters, and you can excuse some boring performances here and there. You can accept boring performances. But I think Magomed Ankalaev might be the most well-rounded, skilled light heavyweight in the world. Him and Vadim Nemkov are up there. Corey Anderson as well. But I don't want that guy being champion. I like Alex Pereira being champion. He's more fun. He's more entertaining. He's more of a fucking warrior. He lays his life out there on the line every fight. I own my own business, and I work usually 7 days a week. Shout out to you, brother. And Alex just walked him down. Yep. That's my point. I want that. Khamzat Chimaev. That fight was fucking terrible, but I kind of put it aside because every other fight has been so fucking crazy with Khamzat. It's okay. Magomed manager got him knocked out. Ali talking mad shit, running his account. I feel bad for Magomed in a sense, not because he got knocked out, but because Ali's running the account and then he kind of just sits there. But at the same time, I don't really feel bad for him because he's kind of just complicit. He lets him do it. Magomed, so skilled, but got smashed by Alex. Exactly. Shit happens, bro. That fucking left hand of doom. Left hand? Left and right? Left hand of doom, man. Ali got sued recently, I heard. Yep. Oh, I heard about it. I made a video. I think I made a video. Maybe I didn't post it. I believe I posted. I put out too much shit, man. When I get off work, it's a fucking grind. I have no free time because I'm doing this. This is my free time because I find it fun. I enjoy it.
By the way, for the record, I have talked to teammates. I have talked to guys in the gym. I've talked to guys who have worked with him. This is a guy who is competitive with and regularly gets the better of ranked UFC guys in the gym. Isaac Elgarian is a good fighter. This is not a...
Well, that's what Ariel Helwani say. Okay? That's what Ariel said. I can parrot that. That doesn't mean that he talked to these guys. I don't know if he did or not. You see what I'm saying? I can hear something that somebody says, Lucas Tracy, Luke Thomas, Ariel Helwani, MMA Guru, and just parrot that shit. This is what I like to do in my free time, to talk about MMA with other people. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. This is what I've enjoyed. It's hard to do the live stream and then make videos, though, because I could just sit here and do this the whole fucking time. I mean, I could do this with nobody watching. You understand what I'm saying? But we got some people here. Hopefully. Maybe. After the fact, maybe. Hopefully. If I was a fighter in the UFC, why would you not poke and groin shot? Nobody fucking cares. I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want to have that done to me. But, exactly. Why the fuck wouldn't you? It's easy to get away with it. Hard warning. Hard warning. Hard warning. I know you did it 7 times, but hard warning.
A fucking tomato can. And you could hear Daniel Cormier on the broadcast was saying, I don't know what he's doing. I mean,
he has lost his mind.
Yeah, but it's like anyone who's even if you've just watched MMA, but if you've competed, if you've trained, if you've done if you are a jiu-jitsu white belt, you know that when somebody is attacking an RNC, you attack the top hand. You definitely don't start punch.
I'm surprised your channel is not bigger, man. You're making good content. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. It's just incredible that there's no penalties or fouls in the UFC. Yeah, exactly. It's a fucking problem, dude. Again, the Waldo Cortez Acosta fight. He got it done. I'm glad that he got it done. He got the justice that he and he alone deserve. Not Tiki Gosen, his manager, who may have played a factor in all that bullshit. But they fucked up. Gone fouled Tom, but people hate Tom and love Gone. Where the fuck did all these Cyril Gone fans come from, Productions? Let me know that. Please tell me. Who the fuck and where the fuck these Cyril Gone fans come from? They're not Cyril Gone fans. They just hate Tom Aspinall because they love John Jones. Did you hear what Sean Strickland said about Tiki? Back in the day, a couple months ago or a year ago, yeah, some serious allegations. Serious shit. Now, I don't know, and again, Sean Strickland, a little bit bombastic, a little bit crazy. Gone Goat, Ganu. But yeah, Sean, Tiki, they've butted heads. Now, Sean, a little bit hit or miss sometimes, Sean. We're not sure what's true. I mean, Tiki seems like a bad character, but to go that far, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I will. Hard to say.
The guy and just like I've never seen anything like it before. I've never seen it.
He went for a Dennis Holman. He went for a Dennis Holman defense off the back. Hey, just going back a little bit, Harry. Do you think that obviously that's crazy, $16 million, right? On something
Preposterous.
like this. Did somebody get too greedy? If it was more minor, not 16 million, but maybe 1 or 2 million, do you think that would have skated by? Or do you think, regardless, because this is such a low-level fight on such a dead fight night card, that this would have been flagged regardless?
That's a very interesting question. And yes, it does raise the question of, okay, is there an arbitrary number? Is there an arbitrary handle? Is there an arbitrary volume where something gets flagged? And unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, the answer is no. It's all fairly subjective. So I don't want to give you a 100% certain answer when I'm not sure. Because I really.
So then stop putting out information that you aren't sure about, bro. You just said it yourself. I think Robbie Lawler beat the fuck out of Tiki way back in the day. Was it Robbie? I feel like I know what you're talking about. I feel like you're right. Could be wrong. Again, I'm too young to have enjoyed it in the moment, unfortunately. But man, you go back and watch some of those old fights, sick shit. We were doing some watch-alongs back a couple months ago. I just don't have time to do it, man. But I was watching back the old stuff for the first time, even though I'd seen some of it. Anyway, we'll keep rolling.
I really don't know. You know what I mean? Obviously, a handle like that clearly is instantly going to be flagged. But no, I don't know where the arbitrary line is where they decide something weird's going on. And part of this also comes down to, I don't know how familiar you are with American.
There is no arbitrary line. Again, for anybody out there, listen to this after the fact. Go watch Ariel's interview with the Yahoo Sports guy from Monday. He clearly says that this was flagged because of the dormant accounts that all of a sudden placed a crazy amount of money on this one specific thing. You then look at that account and you say, man, they seem to win a lot on exact fucking calls, perfect calls. Ensign Inoue, shout out. Fucking animal, crazy motherfucker. Sick. They didn't flag the account purely because of the amount of money. It was newly created accounts and accounts that seem to only post up big bets and win every time on very specific bets. Did you ever watch his fight with Frank Shamrock? I don't remember it. I feel like I have seen it, but I might have just had it playing on in the background while I was doing something. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to go back and rewatch some shit, man. Not going to pretend like I've seen every fight, but Ensign Inoue, very fun fighter. That fight with Frank Shamrock, I can see it in my head, but I don't remember it. Was it a good fight? Productions?
In KYC laws, know your customer laws, but if you make an account and you make bets at a legal sports book in America, they have your fucking social security number. They have all of your financial information. So part of what gets things flagged is, okay, here's a guy who has, he's a casual gambler. Let's say maybe he comes in once or twice a week. He bets football on Sundays. He bets a couple $100. Yeah, if that guy walks in and lays $1 million down, everyone's going to go, what the fuck? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
It's hard to give a definitive answer, unfortunately.
There's so much craziness about this. Obviously, Cash Patel also sitting in the audience for this thing. Like, this couldn't be worse for the whole team and this happening on a card.
Okay, also, I have not seen images or any kind of confirmation that Cash Patel was out there. Productions, I don't know if you have either. Let me know. I didn't see him sitting cage side, but again, it's an Apex card. I'm not really fucking paying attention to who's sitting cage side. Was he really? Is this confirmed? Do we know this for sure?
Like this. But quickly, just on the whole situation with the UFC finding out Hunter Campbell, Ariel Helwani, who, by the way, made sure to give you the credit that you deserve in that.
I appreciated that.
Which was really, really cool.
He let me take all the shit for it first, but he at least gave me credit. I'll give him that.
Who fucking cares, dude? You imagine being Isaac about to throw a fight in Cash Patel's front row? Crazy. I gotta rewind. I think it's just my personality. And this is why I don't really want to have other people jump on here and join me and do some fucking multi-stream thing. Listen, dude, people are gonna shit on you for everything. Get the fuck over yourself. You're not that special. I'm sorry. I'm glad that he's putting all this out there. It can't, listen, everybody's got pros and cons to the personality. I've got my ups and my downs. I'm not a very flexible person. I like to have a schedule, keep a schedule. Sometimes that causes issues when you're trying to go do things with other people, with your family, with your friends, whatever. I can get a little pissed off, you know? So it's not all perfect. It's just how I am. Productions, you probably got a slightly different personality. If you're very similar to me, we probably have differences even then. Everybody's got their pros and cons of their personality. Not pretending like I'm perfect. I'm just skeptical. So I feel like I do a decent job of just weeding through shit. I can smell lies from a fucking mile away. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Harry Mack's lying. There's certain things that he says and does that are just, ugh. They tip me off. Like, I don't like this. I appreciate Submission Radio and, which one is this guy? Is this Dennis? You know how many of these I've listened to and not actually watched? I don't even know who's who. Dennis and the other guy that quit. It just raises my ears, you know what I'm saying? Like a dog. Like I'm like, I don't like that. That's not what a real journalist cares about. Luke Thomas, Ariel Helwani went to school for this shit. Whatever they did, I don't fucking know. Doesn't matter. Ariel went to journalism school. He knows you're going to take heat for saying shit. It's what a journalist does. They ask the tough questions. Harry Mack's asking the tough questions. You're going to get shit for it. I finally got my due, but he let me take all the shit for it first. Because he's corroborating the sources. He's making sure it's okay. He's making sure it checks out first. It doesn't seem like you're doing that. It just seems like you're hearing stuff, which is true, and then putting it out there. Again, nothing wrong with that. But don't pretend to call yourself some real journalist. Don't pretend to call yourself a real journalist if you're not checking with two sources. Put it out there. Take the heat, take the love. One and the same. Take it together in stride.
Said that he believes the UFC should have canceled the fight as soon as they got contacted. Why not cancel the fight? Just pay out the fighters and move it. Yeah, I just want to get your take on it. Why do you think the UFC didn't cancel the fight, and how much better would the situation have been if they did?
$1 million question. That's the $1 million question. I can tell you, I work in fight promotion. I got a show coming up in New York, VFL, December 12th,
cool.
Terminal 5. See you there. But yeah, there's nothing that legally binds them to putting on the fight. They don't have any obligation to put the fight on. They are well within their rights.
So this guy's a fight promoter. Okay. He's running something that will potentially garner some prospects for the UFC. Potentially competition for the UFC. Do you see where the conflict of interest lies? Are you following my thought process? Maybe I haven't established it clearly enough. This guy is putting out information that is very damning, very specific, and a bit hit or miss. This guy works in fight promotions. I don't know what that means. Is he looking for a job with the UFC? Is he looking to take down the UFC? Is he looking to help the UFC cover something else up by planting it all on one guy with all of this information? That's my problem. I don't work doing any of that shit. I've taken my trial classes, and I've watched a lot of fights. Those are the only ties I have to this. If I was a UFC employee, this channel wouldn't be up and running. If I was working in fight promotions, this channel wouldn't be up and running. What are this guy's motives exactly? So he helps promote fights, or he runs a fight promotion, and he's a journalist? Seems like a conflict of interest to me.
To just pull it. And guess what? If they pulled it, you and I probably aren't sitting here having this conversation right now. Then the story is the UFC was alerted of something improper and they handled it in the correct way. But to your point, I'm sitting here doing the risk reward assessment, and I don't understand why on fucking earth you'd let that fight take place under any circumstances. It makes absolutely no sense to me. The risk far outweighs the reward of whatever's going to happen on a random Apex prelim. So that is a baffling question. And yes, I understand the implication there is yeah, that leads you to reasonably infer then, okay, was somebody at the UFC incentivized to make this fight happen? I don't think that's a crazy question given the circumstances.
It's not a crazy question, but then again, what's this guy's ulterior motive? Is he trying to take down the UFC and link it all together and blah, 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 blah? If you want to understand behavior and understand incentive, Harry wants attention. I'm not looking for attention here. I'm no fucking genius. What did I say we have? 700 something subscribers? Who the fuck cares, man? I got like 2 people watching this. Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 0. There's no incentive for me to do anything. Maybe this turns into a fucking $1 a month down the line. You know what I'm saying? Attention for a show. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like, what's... Again, I've been the one questioning the UFC in these sports books. Maybe they have nothing to do with it, and this guy's trying to link it together. I'm going to tear down the UFC and single-handedly do the better. I'm not smarter. I just have common sense. Put 2 and 2 together and figure it out. Unfortunately, productions, I don't watch a lot of smaller channels because every time I turn on a smaller channel, it looks like this guy's bedroom. It's a bunch of fucking rags in the bathroom. I don't really want to watch that. Rafucho, on the other hand, this dude's got some serious high production value. Does the camera always 4K? No. Does he always speak with the clearest of voice? Maybe not. But he's having fun, and I can feel it. There's some genuine interest in the sport, genuine interest in the production value, and just talking about fights and having fun. That's the kind of guy I can get behind. Some of these smaller YouTubers that are just running this shit out of their bathroom, no problem with it. I'm in a fucking closet. My fucking capes are falling apart, trying to block out some noise. Brady or Morales, who I got? Brady's a little older. Who's the GOAT of MMA to me? We got to go by division again. I want Brady to win because Morales is the younger guy. He'll get there eventually. I need Sean Brady to get his chance. Plus, I really fucking respect what Brady's doing. He's an old school mentality fighter. He's getting stalled out by the rest of the division. And he's taking fights that he doesn't have to. I want that guy to win. I'm going to be biased. Absolutely. Do I think he's going to win? That is tough. My GOAT. What do we got? If we go by division right now, flyweight, we got DJ. Shout out. Brady getting stalled and is just fighting. Right, exactly. Sean Brady, I don't think has the most entertaining style, but Morales is going to smash him. I hope not. But I'm worried. I am worried about that. If we go by division, flyweight, I got DJ. Bantamweight, I wish I didn't have to put Merab at the top of the list, but you got to fucking respect the shit out of him. John Jones was the best ever, but pussy for ducking Big Tom. And again, not just that, but you look back at his last couple fights, very tough. Morales is twice his size in height, in width and chest and back size. And Brady's got a crazy looking back, dude. So DJ, Merab, I got to stick with Volk at featherweight. I respect the hell out of Jose Aldo for what he did, but fucking Christ. Volkanovski's put together some shit and some combinations and some great MMA, mixing the martial arts. That Yair Rodriguez finishing sequence, that's MMA. Lightweight, I got to go with Islam at this point. I don't know, man. I mean, I really respect Khabib and how dominant he was, but to me, Islam right there, man. Thanks for the shout out. More analytical and energetic on the MMA YouTube. Yes, sir. That's why I tune in. The live streams, shout out. Did some DBX. Did some karate combat over on Rafucho's channel. Very good stuff. Anybody watching this after the fact, go check him out. GSP is the GOAT of MMA. Islam over Khabib. Yeah, I said it. At least, if he's not, he's right there. And I want to see what these guys do the rest of their careers. Welterweight, man, I really respect the fuck out of Kamaru, but I got to go GSP. GSP lost, though. Yeah, but he avenged his losses. And Jones didn't. Maybe Reyes. I mean, come on. He lost the Reyes fight. And he didn't do very well against Anthony Smith. Didn't do very good against Thiago Santos. Hard-fought decisions against those guys. And in retrospect, how bad those guys' careers turned out, not a good look. Decision against OSP. Look at how he turned out. So we'll keep going. Welterweight, I got to go GSP. Middleweight, I mean, it's Anderson in my mind, but Drickus, just because of the current day, these fighters are so much better now. Drickus is very close, but to get smashed by Hamzat in that way, that really makes me question things. Jones destroyed Thiago's knees. Fair enough, but I also had a guy that went 5 rounds with him with no knees, and he couldn't finish. Tough. Light heavyweight, of course. Dude, Pereira, what he's doing in such a short time span is closing the gap quicker than ever. But John Jones, what he did early on, very impressive. Heavyweight, I don't know. It's hard to pick anybody but Stipe. You got Fedor out there. If we're talking UFC, Stipe, no question. MMA as a whole, Fedor, very impressive. That's probably my GOAT list at this point. But again, that shit changes every other month. Man. If Jones didn't take steroids and wasn't such a fucking horrible human being, I don't really think it'd be a debate about who's the best ever. Right. He fucked himself up. He ruined his own career.
Circumstances.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Obviously, they put out their statement. This is an uncrowned graphic, and this is what the UFC had to say.
I love forcing people to make statements. This one.
What did you think of this statement? And obviously, at the end here, we take these allegations very seriously.
I love forcing people to make statements. Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. Fuck off, dude. I want to believe this guy. I want to trust this guy. I love forcing people to make statements. It's a fucking company, motherfucker. They're going to make a statement regardless. Are you stupid? Please tell me you're not that stupid. Come on, man. Come on, Harry Mack. Please, bro. I'm trying to hear you out. I'm trying to, bro. Come on, dude. Come on. Stop it. It's not that funny. Because, clearly, John Jones is the best fighter ever to me. Right? Athletically, talented, technically. I mean, the dude is fucking sick. But I don't really blame somebody if they disagree with me with all the shit he's done. Listen, that's how I see the shit that he's done. It really puts a damper on things. The way that his last couple fights have played out, the Stipe fight, it's hard, man. It's really hard. Hard to look at that. Plus, he took steroids. I mean, that to me instantly takes you out of the conversation. So, Anderson out. John Jones out. It's GSP. It's GSP or Demetrius Johnson in my mind. But Demetrius wasn't facing the same level of competition, blah, 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 blah. I like to go based on division. You know what I'm saying? If somebody asks me my favorite movie, well, I got movies for different moods. You know, do I like a horror movie? Do I like an action movie, a comedy movie, an adventure movie, romance? I mean, it's division. One division at a time. There is no go to the sport. You can't compare them. They can't fight each other. Different fighters have different levels of skill. What, are you going to deny that Alex Pereira is one of the best fighters ever? Even though he's probably one of the least technically skilled fighters on the ground to have reached the heights that he has reached?
Obviously, and along with the health and safety of the fight, nothing more is important. But it's kind of like, hey, we're handballing this thing over and trying to get rid of this, clean our hands of this as quickly as possible. The statement, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. My understanding is the UFC brass, so probably TKO realistically, wanted Hunter Campbell to make a statement Saturday night. As far as I am aware, Hunter Campbell was unavailable. What that means, take it as you will. I take it to mean that as a lawyer and a smart guy, he is smart enough to not go on fucking record without having all of the information about this situation yet. So
he just said a bunch of nothing. I mean, obviously. They don't know what's going on. They had to make that statement by Monday afternoon. I think they made it on Monday afternoon. They're not just going to come out and say some shit without knowing what's going on. I can do that because there's nothing really holding me accountable. I can lie and bullshit all I want. Just like our friend here. I think he's doing good work. I got to give him his props. But if I did an interview like this, it'd sound the exact same, and I'm a fucking nobody. You're trying to be something. You might want to step up to the plate a little better than this. You might want to put on a little bit of a more trustworthy face. There's something irking this guy in my mind. And again, if he jumped in this live chat right now and said, fuck me, I mean, like, that's his prerogative. That's okay.
So, yeah, Chael Sonnen is a moron and forced their hand a little bit because he had to just accuse me of being a liar for no reason. And I
saw that. You're in jail, man.
Fuck him, man. He's a fucking shyster. He is a grifting, money laundering paid shill. Fuck him. He's a hack.
Did you not know this? It's what he does. It's the character. I wouldn't say fuck Chael Sonnen. It's not that personal, bro. He's seen some shit, and he's going to play contrarian to the nth degree. That's what Chael Sonnen does. Welcome to fucking MMA, Harry Mack. I mean, who cares? You laugh about it and you brush it off, and it is what it is. That's how I look at it. It's Chael Sonnen. He's going to run his mouth. That's what he does. It's pretty much what made him famous.
But yeah, he comes out and calls me a liar for no reason. And I realize, hey, Chael, this is actually the first time anybody from the UFC has commented on this. So is your official stance that there was no fight fixing and nothing took place? Radio silence from him for the rest of that. So I have a feeling somebody got yelled at for that one. And then, yes, the UFC releases a nothing burger statement that just, great. They're going to conduct an internal investigation and they're going to say, wow, we didn't do anything wrong. But that's not what matters. What matters is a federal investigation that is underway.
You put out a tweet with a little bit of an update. I want to get to that in a second. But before I do, the obvious question is people would be wondering is, does this have anything to do with Krause? Does this have anything to do with any of the other sport fixing across the NBA? From what you understand, and of course, feel free if you don't really have the facts yet, but is this associated with the stuff that's going on right now? Is this associated with some of the previous stuff in the past with the UFC? Or is this, from what you understand, its own situation that was created just for this particular fight?
Yeah, no, I think that's an important question. And, you know, unfortunately, like I said, I'm not here to throw shit at the wall. So I unfortunately don't have enough information at this time to say one way or the other if the two are connected, if in terms of the NBA. In terms of...
He is throwing a lot of shit at the wall when it pertains to this particular situation, though. He's walked back a couple of statements. He said the FBI called the UFC, which, again, we've already established doesn't really make any sense. I don't know why Dana White would lie about, oh, I called the FBI right afterwards. Isn't that what you would do? I mean, that's just like, to me, Dana could be lying as well, but that tracks pretty closely. Hey, are you going to do something wrong? Nah, boss. And then that something wrong happens. We're going to fuck this guy right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the FBI called Dana first. You know what I'm saying?
Jason Krause, what I can tell you is I had a productive phone call with Jason House, who I respect for taking my call and being willing to talk to me and go on the record. House states that he has not had any contact with James Krause since the Derek Minner incident, and that he cooperated with authorities, and that Jason Krause has nothing to do with this. That's Jason House's official stance. That's his statement. I am presenting that as what he told me objectively. There's no conjecture from me there.
The other big question around here is, and this kind of, the conversation started with me, Jed.
But is this guy saying to Jason House, hey, this is on the record, I'm going to post this online? Does Jason House know that? Or is this just a guy who he knows that's maybe trained in and around the gym? Harry Mack. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he wouldn't go on Ariel's show and talk about anything. Why wouldn't you go on Ariel's show? Coach Montoya did it. He cleared the air, aired out all his grievances. Something tells me this may not have been above board journalism. That's all. That's what I'm getting at.
Issue. And Jose Youngs were doing morning after is that apparently there is an investigation looking into a particular referee in the sport. I don't know how much all of this is to do with each other. From what you understand, is this a part of the investigation? Is this something separate?
My understanding is that it's part of the overarching investigation into, yes, abnormal betting patterns in the UFC and patterns with certain referees. And yeah, they're going to examine all of the data and they will present what they find to us. But as far as I'm aware, to the best of my knowledge, Jason Herzog is being quote unquote audited. So they are looking at his fights for patterns, irregularities, whatever you want to call it. It was very nice of him to call me transgender on Twitter. That was a new one. That was a new one for me. Good stuff, Jason.
Jason, with Jason being
is that even Jason Herzog's Twitter account? Was it really him? Also, why is Jason Herzog allowed to referee then? If he's under federal investigation, how is he refereeing? Jeff Molina is not allowed to fight. James Krause is not allowed to be involved in MMA. Derek Minner was not allowed to fight until this year. If Jason Herzog's fights are being audited, how is he still refereeing?
Audited. I mean, this is all pretty crazy. Do you know why they focused on Jason specifically, from what you understand?
I do not have that information. I don't. My educated guess would be that there was some sort of pattern that struck them. That would be my educated guess, but I cannot say factually what spurred that, caused that, whatever word you want to use.
No, this is good. And also, we're just going off the facts that we see. You're going off the facts that we see. So this is a developing story for everybody out there. And I'm sure Jason Herzog and his team are figuring out a way to respond to this audit. It could be something, could be nothing. If there is an irregularity, and let's not talk about Jason, but just let's say in general about a referee. From what you understand, does this put into question the fights that they refereed? Does this impact outcomes of the results of the fights that they were a part of? What can this impact? Or is this just specifically going to impact that one person if something is found, from what you understand?
That's a very, very good question, right? Because yes, then we get into, okay, is there collusion between a referee and a camp or a fighter or a coach or a manager or whatever it may be? So I once again wish I had more facts that I could present to you here, but I think unfortunately that's going to be one of those things that we're just going to need to wait for the investigation to play out and for the facts to come out, and we'll find out, because I can't, I can't confidently say that if they find a pattern that, so-and-so ref seems to, we've seen a few weird ones, like you said, in the past couple months, where a fight gets stopped and suddenly continues and this and that. And yes, that raises questions about the over-under, about integrity. It's fucking weird. You know what I mean? It's Occam's razor, man. If it looks weird, if it feels weird, if it quacks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
All right, guys, taking a quick break to thank our sponsor.
That'll do it for me here with this video. Let's see what else is going on. Let's take a pause. We'll readdress that in the morning. If you want to find out and see more, go check out Submission Radio. Did an interview with Harry Mack. Harry Mack's the one digging up all this stuff, figuring out what's going on with the betting scandal. Shout out to him for doing his due diligence, keeping up with everything. He's doing a good job for the most part. I can poke some holes in here and there. But of course, before we jump out of here, looks like, and just a precursor for later on, tomorrow, whenever. Yep, tomorrow. The UFC White House could be happening sooner than later, turning into a bit of a dinner of sorts and a conversation between countries. Dignitaries from around the world will attend a dinner and then head to the Octagon. A dinner with dignitaries from around the world will be held ahead of the UFC White House event. The guests will attend the dinner before heading into the Octagon to watch the fights alongside President Donald Trump and Dana White. Okay. How many countries then are going to be involved in the fights? Are we going to have some Russian guys? Are we going to have some Brazilian guys? Are we going to have some English guys. I mean, who are we involving in this? Are they going to be the biggest and best fights, or are we just specifically going to pick certain foreign countries and dignitaries to enjoy the festivities?
Still? Do you watch a lot of UFC still?
I love it. That's
our
my
favorite too.
Sportive kind of choice.
Who would you love to see on the White House card?
Oof. I mean, John Jones has to fight.
You think he'll be on it?
I mean, I think you're going to see. I feel like he has one left in him. I think you're going to see McGregor at that one.
Yeah.
I've gotten to know McGregor pretty well, and he's a great guy. I mean, there's so much talent in there right now. Oh, wait,
everybody wants
this will be the greatest performance of all time. You know, I mean,
the renderings look
insane.
Craziest sporting event of all time.
My father's birthday at the White House on the South Lawn. We need like a great American card because listen, I like a lot of these guys, and these guys all like us. I mean, you know, GSP, all these guys were universally. I tell you, all the fighters really. But man, we have to have a good American showing on America's birthday at the White House. We need a good American showing. I think this could be one of the most tuned into sporting events ever. Like, you know, I'd love to see it push Super Bowl numbers, right? And I think done correctly, I think it can. I'm super excited. And Dana's become really close to the family. I've become really close to Dana, and he's Dana's the freaking greatest. I love him to death.
And no one loves your dad more than Dana too, right?
He's the best. Dana is absolutely the greatest.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fun event.
That card's gonna be nuts, man.
Awesome.
Wait, doesn't that symbolize like the best of America?
So many.
Yeah, it's the most American thing ever.
Right?
Yes.
Do you think Biden would have done that? Do you think Biden would have let?
Of course not. We know this.
Do you think Obama would have done that? Of course not.
The best, we asked Dana this on the podcast, is that your father announced it before talking to him. And there's nothing better than that.
Oh yeah.
That's the great
Dana.
All right. Again, take that for what you will. Doesn't really matter what your opinions are politically on this. In my opinion, it's pretty fucking sick. They're doing some kind of fights at the White House. But again, I won't believe it till I see it. Of course, Obama and Biden weren't going to do it. They don't have the ties back to Dana White from 30 years ago. It would have allowed them to do this kind of thing. They're not best buddies. Donald Trump and Dana White in a former life were good friends, and they still are to this day. It's pretty cool. I think it's cool. Politics aside, I don't know what's going to happen. I thought it was going to be on July 4th. Now it's on his birthday for some reason. But potentially even sooner is pretty wild. We'll just have to wait and see. I won't believe this till I see it. And that's my official stance on it. I still am very skeptical if this is even happening. I don't know. Jiri Prochazka, we'll touch on this last subject here. Jiri Prochazka recently did an interview with Demetrius Johnson in which he was lit only by candlelight. That's right. This guy's living in the Stone Age. Jiri Prochazka's an interesting character, I gotta say.
Damn, you done that much, huh? You done a lot of that shit, huh? You done a lot of.
Yeah. And once I did 24 hours, just 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 24 hours. I did that.
Wow.
Once. And
how did your muscles in your arms feel after that? Like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Like I feel like my arms would, my elbows would hurt. I feel like my traps would hurt for 24 hours. That's a long time.
When you have a reason, everything will work for that.
Damn, you done that much, huh? You done a.
Maybe so, productions, or maybe so. It is getting late, though. I do work an early shift. You can take for that what you will. Unfortunately, as much as I like to be upfront, this is going on the internet. I don't really want people. Only 9 p.m. at my crib. Maybe, maybe not. Midnight. Well, wait, it's not midnight. It would be 12:22. 12:22. We're just going until we stop, and probably going to stop in a minute. I got to get to bed. Man. I got shit to do tomorrow. Jiri Prochazka, on the reason he got his master's degree now. Interesting stuff here, Jiri.
Was it important for you to go back and get that college degree? Like, is that something you plan on doing after you're done fighting, like following in you know, using the degree that you got, or was it something that you just want to do for yourself?
I just did them because I wanted to, because I did the bachelor before.
Yep.
And then there was a last level, the magister in the same line. So I said myself, man, I really want to do that. I really wants to push myself to stay sharp, not physically, but here, to not use.
So he didn't actually get this degree to use it for anything, but to keep his mind sharp. If Jiri Prochazka is not one of your favorite fighters, like, I don't know what is going on with you. Dude is an absolute madman. And he claims to not even diet to cut weight. He just magically sheds it off. Some Wim Hof breathing techniques, maybe. What are we doing here, brother? Now, of course, he's working out. He's probably not eating as much food, or maybe he's not eating at all leading up to Friday morning weigh-ins, but what? This guy is crazy, bro. This guy's crazy, bro. Jiri Prochazka is a very interesting character. Crazy. Anyway, I think that'll do it for me tonight. Productions showed up. We had a good time. Just chatting it up, having some fun. It's getting late. Got to take care of some things. Get to bed. And keep on questioning everything that is to come. This betting thing is not going to go away if it was up to me, but we may just have to stop talking about it because we're exhausting our resources here. But we'll keep up to date on it. Some time will have to roll on, obviously. This is going to take time. These investigations do not happen quickly. They take a long time. Anybody watching One Championship? Looks like Rug out of 173 due to a serious car accident. Jonathan Haggerty's fallen out of it. Rug's out. World title rematch postponed. Man, that's tough. Bad car accident. Prayers up for Rug. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully he can make it back to this one. But maybe the greatest MMA card to ever be devised. One championship, 173. Very, very solid from top to bottom. Loaded. It's kind of falling apart a little bit. So we'll see how this develops. Hopefully nothing else falls off the card. Shout out to Rug. Send him prayers and well wishes. Jonathan Haggerty as well, recovering from an injury. But that'll do it for me tonight. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good one. Tomorrow, if I don't see you, if I don't have the time to jump on here, have a good one. Enjoy your time out there. Appreciate everybody for jumping in here. Who did? Productions stuck with me for quite a while. But we're going to call it a night because it's getting late. He said it's after midnight for him. Not quite there for me, but we'll keep it where it lies. It's late. Time to go to bed. Everybody, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Do that whole thing because without you, I don't have enough motivation to keep going with this thing. So keep it going, and I'll stick around. This is just as much your show as it is mine. And we'll leave it off on that foot. So I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy tomorrow. And I'll see you very, very soon.